Hello, today I'm speaking to Dwight Utz, CEO of ECB Bancorp, and we're going to talk about community banks. So, Dwight, what are some of the biggest challenges for community banks, and how can you overcome them?
Yeah, so Liz, I think there's probably two major ones that keep me up at night. The first one is capital. For community banks, it's very difficult to get capital in today's markets. It's just something that is very onerous. It's very difficult to justify the significant dilution that would take place. So capital and the acquisition of capital is probably the first one. So the second one is regulatory burden. To keep the regulators happy, if you will, we have added probably 6 new associates over the last 2.5 years in our risk management. Things like independent loan review, independent appraisals, chief enterprise risk officer. All of those things are non-revenue. So it's very difficult to, in today's environment, particularly in a small community bank, to justify those kinds of expenses that you don't have offsetting revenue on. So those are probably the two things that keep me up at night.
So then how do you remain competitive in this marketplace?
Well, you have to do things differently. We have created a team just focused on the customer experience. We have looked at and have acquired a CRM system that helps us understand customer segmentation, helps us understand the deep dive into what that client looks like. So, we look at it from a profitability standpoint, we look at it from what the next likely product will be. So in creating this team, we also have looked at things like mystery shops to focus us on what we are doing well and what we need to improve on. So all of that combined gives us a better feel for the experience that we are hoping to put forward to our clients. The way we design our stores, the way we do different things. We're looking at some other technology solutions that will help our clients, all in that effort to build that customer intimacy, if you will. So yeah, those are a couple things that we're doing in that regard.
Yes, we hear a lot about how large international banks are improving on the customer experience. But what strategies should community banks use to improve overall customer experience?
Yeah, so it's a little different in community banking, although we take some of the great things that our bigger brethren have, but that we don't have funding to do all of it. So we look at the things that we believe will make the biggest impact and the biggest difference to our clients and focus on them. So where the big banks, they probably focus on 10 or 15 things. We focus probably on 5 or 6, but want to do them well.
So you talked a bit about this new environment of increased regulation and consolidation. So what are your strategies for growth then?
Well, Liz, as you probably have heard, the board and I have decided to sell our company. And so, things that we looked at were this whole regulatory burden issue. We looked at creating shareholder value from the standpoint that our jobs as CEOs is to ultimately create shareholder value. I mean, that's what we're in the business for. And so we sat the board down and talked about how long it would take us to get from point A to point B. And we saw that the market was, there's some opportunity, And we wanted to take advantage of it on the upswing and not, be concerned about where the regulatory issues would take us. And so we felt that this was the right time to sell. And so you look at the tangible book, you look at the price point, all of that said, this is the right thing to do for our shareholders. But the regulatory environment played a role in that. Some people say, well, why would that play a role? Look, it does. It's an expense that I'm not sure a lot of folks outside of the industry understand as to what has happened, but it does. It's a huge impact.